blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah, talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. I see a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't roll my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regret, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of every
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me?
Right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your daily vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, my apologies for being late. I was having technical difficulties. All right, I was trying to get some videos edited or whatever. Okay, so sorry for you all having to wait. With that all being said, moderators, please pay attention and notice if you see any trolls, and that would be anyone spamming the chat intentionally. Warn them the first time. If they continue, you know what to do. Also, if you see anyone saying anything racist, and that goes for no matter what race you are. If you put anything racist in the chat, you're going to be in trouble. The first time they'll warn you, okay? The second time they'll put you in a timeout, and the third time you're out of here. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, moderators, I need you to be on your jobs. I can't watch the chat and give the commentary too at all times, okay? Thank you. And shout out to my moderators because they work for free. Okay, they work for free. Hold on, let me see something here real quick. Hold on, beloveds, I'm sorry. I see someone just left me a comment. Hold on. Let me see if they said something slick. Hold on. Okay, somebody just left me a long message, honey. Somebody by the name of Ellis Ray Robinson. So let me just screenshot this so I can share it on the channel. I'm telling you, I had a sizzling in my spirit. Something told me that it was going to be a smart comment when I saw the notification. So let me send this to my email so I can share this on the screen. Okay, so we're going to see what this person's talking about. Now, with that all being said, I hope everybody's having a good day. Before we get into the whole thing that's going on with Charlie Kirk, the search for his killer, there's a whole manhunt. The HBCUs have been threatened. They've been on lockdown due to terroristic threats and whatnot. There's a whole lot going on. Some Black people are being blamed because they feel that we don't have enough empathy and sympathy. We're going to get all into it. Some people are going to be mad. Some people aren't going to care. I don't really care what anybody thinks about what I have to say or how I feel. I'm just going to keep it real, okay? Either you like it or you don't. It doesn't matter to me. With that all being said, I will, as always, be respectful in my commentary. At least I try to be. Okay, so before we get started, I want to say that since today In case you all missed it, it's the 24th anniversary of 9/11, September the 11th, 2001, when all of those people lost their lives, okay, due to a terrorist attack on this land. At the end of the day, I just want us to take a moment to remember those people and the lives that were lost, because we're talking about Charlie Kirk, and that's all fine because of this just happening. But I don't want people to forget about the people from 9/11. All right. They say never forget, but it looks like they forgot. Okay. But one person that I want to give a special tribute to is a Black woman. Okay. Let's get into it. Her name is her name was Cece Ross Lyles. This woman made a call from the plane while they were being hijacked, and she sent this to her family, or made the call to her husband. And and also she was honored some time ago, so I want to talk about that too. Cece Ross Lyles was 33 years old. Her hometown was Fort Pierce, Florida. She was a flight attendant for United Airlines. So after 6 years as a police officer and a detective in Fort Pierce, Cece Ross Lyles embarked on a new career as a flight attendant, completing her training January of 2001. So she hadn't even been doing this a year when she lost her life. The busy mother of 2 sons and 2 stepsons enjoyed the travel opportunities of her new job and relished the time at home between flights. Her husband says Lyles was a tough, smart, and caring woman with a strong faith. All right. So during the hijacking of Flight 93, Lyles phoned her husband, reaching out, and she got the answer machine. So I'm going to let you all hear what she said. And then, anyway, this is very sad for all the people who died September 11th. And for those of you that have been following me since 2020, or even since Facebook, or even before that, you all know that I told you that I actually dreamt about 9/11 for 5 days before it happened. I called the Federal Aviation Administration, okay, to tell them about the dreams, to tell them, about me seeing these planes that were not commercial planes and all that. And so anyway, they, took it with a grain of salt. And of course, they can't take everything seriously because some people are crazy. Okay. And it just so happened that the first time I told you all that story, a friend of mine named Priscilla Collins just happened to be in the chat. I didn't even know she was in there. And she hopped in and told everybody, yeah, she absolutely did, because she was right there when I called them. Okay. And told them about the premonition. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, that's neither here nor there. Okay. So I'm going to play the audio from the 911 call from Mrs. Cece Ross Lyles.
Baby, you have to listen to me carefully. I'm on a plane that's been hijacked. I'm on the plane. I'm calling from the plane. I want to tell you I love you. Please tell my children that I love them very much. And I'm so sorry, babe. I don't know what to say. There's 3 guys. They've hijacked the plane. I'm trying to be calm. We're turned around, and I've heard that there's planes that's been flown into the World Trade Center. I hope to be able to see your face again, baby. I love you. Bye.
Okay, so rest in peace to all of the people that lost their lives on that dreadful day. And I'm going to go to this video from where she was honored, and this was from a year ago. Okay, lights up, everyone, please like and share. And also, they even made a statue of her. Okay, just for your FYI. Okay, here we go.
Was held in Fort Pierce today to honor the late Cece Ross Lyles. Jesse Carbonari was there when the community joined her family to pay their respects. A statue of Cece Ross Lyles stands in Liberty Garden. Today, her life and all other lives lost on 9/11 were honored and remembered in a special ceremony. Cece Ross Lyles was from Fort Pierce. A former police officer and United Airlines flight attendant, Lyles was killed on September 11th on Flight 93. The plane crashing into a western Pennsylvania field as hijackers took over. The passengers and crew on board fighting back, trying to stop those hijackers. All 44 people on board were killed. Today, her memory honored along with all the other lives lost that day. The city of Fort Pierce joining together for a memorial service at Liberty Garden. Lyles leaving behind 2 sons and 2 stepsons.
Very perseverant, very strong, very beautiful, and full of joy. And every day I'm reminded of it. A privilege to have a mother that was in the right place at the right time to do what she did. I'm very grateful. Just very grateful for everyone coming out to remember.
For more on September 11th ceremonies in our area, visit our website, WPBF.com. Reporting from Fort Pierce, I'm Josie Carbonari, WPBF 25 News.
Right. So prayers for her family. Prayers for her family. She had two young children. I think she had two or three young children when she lost her life. Okay, and so they had to unfortunately grow up without their mother. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the school shooting that no one said anything about. And why? Because there was literally no news reports on it. Every news station yesterday was reporting about Charlie Kirk, and nobody was really talking about the kids at the school. So let's talk about it. I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Details in the deadly Colorado shooting that sent several students to the hospital.
All fire departments respond on an active assailant.
A flurry of 911 calls poured in Wednesday just after noon from Evergreen High School. Students there in a panic, seen on this Ring camera video taken next door, running away, desperate for help.
I was scared and I felt like sick because I was worried.
Police say the suspect, a male student, opened fire with a revolver handgun, shooting a pair of students in front of others. Both of them rushed to the hospital in critical condition, along with a third student with unknown injuries.
2 patients with CPR, need another ambulance to all of them.
This is the scariest thing you could ever think that could happen. They don't know if our suspect is old enough to even drive.
Hundreds of officers racing to the scene. Authorities say they found the suspect had suffered a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the hospital hours later. Investigators now searching his home and locker, looking for clues as to why this happened. Parents shaken, lining up to reunite with their children at a nearby school.
I'm incredibly blessed that I get to hug Brenner tonight and put him to bed and see him wake up tomorrow. Not every parent is that lucky.
And we are in Jefferson County, Colorado. This is the same county where 26 years ago, the Columbine school shooting massacre happened. Of course, at the time, that was considered unthinkable. The incident here at Evergreen is one of hundreds of American school shootings that have happened since Columbine. Guys.
So sickening. Okay, Trevor, thanks very much.
Absolutely dreadful. Okay, so that's absolutely nefarious. With that all being said, okay, so now I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go to this next report. Here we go.
And the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office just finished a news conference. They shared a picture and the name of the student who shot 2 other students at Evergreen High School yesterday. Investigators say 16-year-old Desmond Hawley went through the school looking for targets, but lockdown procedures kept him from getting through.
He came up against a roadblock on many of those doors. He couldn't get to those kids.
Thank you for being with us at noon. I'm Ahmadiyyah White. We want to give you a quick breakdown. There's a lot of new information the Sheriff's Office just shared with us. Investigators say 16-year-old Desmond Hawley seemed to have been, quote, radicalized by an extremist network. They did not provide more details on that. We know that he brought quite a bit of ammo, continued to reload a revolver handgun, take shots inside the school. The Sheriff's Office says Hawley eventually took his own life. We're also learning more about the 2 victims. Children's Hospital tells us they are treating 1 student. The other victim is still at St. Anthony's in Lakewood, and they were also critically hurt. Law enforcement has not identified either of those victims. Your reporter Justin Adams is live at Evergreen High School, where that update from law enforcement just happened. Justin, we heard you asking questions, and there are still plenty of questions that the community has about all of this.
Yeah, one of the questions that has been answered is that this crime scene doesn't only go at the school, but also behind the school, which is where one of the suspects was also hit in the incident from yesterday. As we told you earlier, look at your screen. This is the suspect, which was 16-year-old Desmond Holly, a student of Evergreen High School. Now, this student was on a bus when he arrived to school yesterday. He had a handgun and fired it multiple times and reloaded it several times in order to fire again. Jefferson County officer says that he was allegedly a part of an extremist network, and there still hasn't been a motive that has been found at this moment.
The suspect's gun was fired a lot. The reason we have so many crime scene areas inside is because we have windows shot out. We have lockers that were shot up. We're finding spent rounds, unspent rounds. So it's a huge area. And the school, I was told, is 3 levels. So lots of work to be done, but he fired multiple times.
Now, for students looking to be able to pick up their vehicles, they can do so today. They will have to go to Bergen Meadows Elementary School. They will have to have their keys with them. If they do not have their keys, or if their keys was left inside of the school or inside of the car, they will not be able to get on the bus to go to Evergreen High School, in order to pick up their car. They could be able to do so until 4:45 today. And also at this moment, it is not known until when this high school will be open yet again. So this is one of those investigation scenes that will continue on, and we'll keep you updated right here on CBS News Colorado. In Evergreen, your reporter Justin Adams, covering Colorado First.
Justin, thank you for being out there getting answers for us. We appreciate you. As a result of the Evergreen school shooting, more than 10 campuses in Evergreen and Conifer closed today. Evergreen High School will be closed at least through tomorrow. Now, if you need resources, you can get them today at Bergen Meadow Elementary. It's open until 5 today and tomorrow from 9 until 1. Victim advocate.
Okay, so that's really, really sad. Prayers for those who lost their lives. I believe it was 2 students that died, and then also for those that were injured. And I hope they have a speedy recovery. Okay, hold on. Hold on, beloveds. That kid looked like he was like 13 or 14 years old. Okay, so the shooter dead. The shooter and 2 others dead, and then students hospitalized. Okay, I don't see how many exactly. One of the wounded students has non-life-threatening injuries. Okay, so they say a student who authorities say opened fire at his Colorado high school on Wednesday, wounding 2 classmates and then turning the gun on himself, has died. Now, the gunfire at Evergreen High School broke out at about 12:24 p.m. local time, and this is according to Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. 3 students were taken to the hospital in critical condition following the gunfire, including the suspected shooter, who was injured by a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, the Sheriff's Office confirmed the suspect died in a post on social media Wednesday evening. Authorities have not publicly released his identity. One of the wounded students with non-life-threatening injuries was released Wednesday night, with a second wounded student remaining in critical condition. Hospital officials gave this information on Thursday. So I hope the child that's in critical condition has a speedy recovery and makes it home just fine. A 4th student was also transported to the hospital, but with an unknown injury. I hope that's nothing serious. And in a statement, Colorado Governor Jared Polis said he was devastated by the shooting. My heart goes out to the victims and their families as they grapple with these senseless acts of violence. It is absolutely senseless, okay, and so sad. So prayers for everyone involved. Now, with that all being said, let's go and prayers for the family of the shooter, because clearly that young man was troubled. Okay, he definitely seemed to have been troubled, and he may have had mental health issues. I don't know. He was very young to be even thinking of stuff like that. But also, they said he was involved in some network. He probably was recruited and told a bunch of BS. Okay, so now let's go to this comment that Ellis Ray Robinson left, not just for me, but for you all as well. So let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it, because here's what he had to say. Here's what he had to say. He says, anybody on this channel that happy he got killed and call him or herself a follower of Yeshua is not acting like him. It pains me to see and hear that. There's a lot of typos in here. I guess they were so mad they couldn't spell straight. Yet y'all talk about their faith or his faith that is hypocritical. A child didn't ask to be here, and for his kids to witness that is horrible. All of you have committed sins, and karma, as y'all say, could have took you if not for Yeshua. Okay, that's spelled wrong too, but let me continue. Mercy, try to remember that. God forgives. Read your Bible. Most called by God were sinners. I'm ashamed of y'all in here, and you, Queen, are something else. LOL. Some things he said, Charlie, were true. I agree with him. And Dr. King was not who they propped him up to be. Anyone don't believe it, please research him properly. I didn't want to believe it either till I did a deep research on Dr. King. I was shocked. I'm going to pray for y'all. Honey, don't pray for us, baby. You need to pray for yourself, okay? You need to pray for yourself, all right? Because you sound ridiculous. And yes, I am something else. I certainly am Ellis Ray Robinson. You sound ridiculous. And let me tell you why. Now, this has to be a complete idiot, okay? I have to just go ahead and call a spade a spade. You have to be out of your damn mind if you want to sit up here and cape for Charlie Kirk, but you talk trash about Dr. King. Say what now? Do y'all hear this? Said Dr. King isn't who he portrayed himself to be, but Charlie Kirk is. He's something special to be revered. Okay, get the F out of here. First of all, nobody on this channel said they were happy. We have not been on her celebrating. Okay, as a matter of fact, I said I'm not relishing in the idea of anyone's demise and them leaving this earth. I just don't have any empathy and sympathy. Okay, that's what I said, and I don't have any. And here's why. I'm honoring Charlie Kirk's wishes. Charlie Kirk said himself that empathy was dangerous, that it was some new age BS that nobody needs to engage in. So he never had empathy for anybody, and I'm sure as much as he hated the thought of empathy and said it was dangerous, I'm so sure, in fact, I'm positive, he wouldn't want anyone to have any for him. And so I don't. So I at least am respecting that man's wishes. Okay, Mr. Ellis Ray Robinson, thank you very much. What? Talking about over here happy and celebrating. Nobody's celebrating. But if you're supposed to be such a Christian, why do you have so much to say about Dr. King? You couldn't forgive him? You could forgive Charlie Kirk, but you can't forgive Dr. King, and you had the nerve to dare to even compare him to Dr. King. Don't y'all find that crazy? Because I do. Y'all don't think that's insane? Ooh, honey, I absolutely cannot. I mean, people just be talking to hear themselves talk, I think, because they can't think that they actually make a bit of sense. Okay, that's what they can't do. All right, that's what they can't do. Now, so anyway, with that all being said, there was grown men online crying, all upset and bent out of shape and butt hurt, and some of them look like me. So let's get into it, because here's one. I tried to get him to come on the show today. He didn't respond back because I wanted to get him on here and just grill him with the foolishness that he's spewing, but let's just listen to it.
Yo, let me tell you something, real talk. This one right here hits different, and I'm going to tell you why it hits so differently. Because this man right here was a brother in Christ. He was a soldier on the battlefield for Christ, man. He stood up for what God said to stand up for. And this man was willing to die, standing on what he believed. And I'm going to tell you something. What y'all don't realize, all y'all that's up here happy and dancing in the streets that this man lost his life, guess what? He won. He won. He left this earth and he's standing in the presence of God, beholding his beauty and his glory. Y'all thought y'all won. Satan thought he won too when Christ was crucified. But guess what? Christ won and is giving us a victory. See, one thing about Charlie Kirk that I do know is that he may have been controversial because he went against the political norms. But I'm going to tell you something. Sometime that happened. See, Christ got crucified for doing the very same thing. He's in good company now. And I pray for the Charlie Kirk family. I pray for the Turning Point family. I pray for everybody that's been impacted by Charlie Kirk. Because in my opinion, this man was a hero. And this man stood for God. But when Christ comes back, he's going to be standing with him. He's going to be fighting with Christ against all this evil that's in the world right now. And this is how I feel about the situation. And I want to be in that army. I want to be in that number. When Christ comes back, I don't want to be fighting against Christ. I want to be fighting with him. And see, a lot of people fighting against God, and this is why this country is going to hell in a handbasket, because we removed God out of this country. See, the thing is, the scripture is right. It said there will come a time where people call wrong right and right wrong. Now we're praising criminals and murderers and thieves and all these things, but we're shaming the victim. Shame on you. Shame on you. This man had no right to lose his life at 31 years old. And anybody that's going in the street thinking it's okay, you're special. And God got a special place for you. This is painful, man. And I don't care if it would have been Roland Martin, who I don't like politically. But if it happened to him, I would have the same animus. Because nobody should lose their life for standing up for what they believe. At one point, we used to respect people's beliefs and move on. But now we got to take their lives. But I'm going to tell you something. God is not mocked. Whatever a man soweth, they're going to reap. And like I said again, this is a fellow soldier in Christ. That's why my heart is broke. Because it's like a soldier has fallen on the field. But I promise you this. Satan, you lost again. Because when he gave up the ghost on this side, he was in the arms of Jesus. And that's what I believe. That's what gives me some consolation of knowing that all is well and shall be well. I'm going to tell you something. Something got to change. And that first change is getting back to God. Because a nation without God is destined for hell. Praying for all of y'all that are impacted. This right here broke me. They'll took the wind out of my sail. This hurt, man. It really, really hurts my heart. It really hurts. That's all I got to say. Yo, I knew it was going to happen. Okay, when you spread hate like that, Jack A., you deserve what you get. His words get black people hurt and murked every day. I don't see white people going into the hoods, taking out other black folk. Black folk are doing fine. Let's talk about niggas, the ignorant ones, the ones that will shoot up a block over a block they own, or the ones that will, shoot and don't know how to shoot and hit grandma or hit a little child out in the yard playing. You don't want to talk about that, though. But see, the thing is, this man, Charlie Kirk, that is, he was talking about the nuclear family, like a mother and a father in the home that makes better children and better people in society. See, it's the black pundits and the black, boule that's convinced us that white men hate us and won't take accountability for none of our own actions at all. I'm the kind of person, if I did it, I need to take responsibility for it. And no matter what, people tell you, people still do what they want to do. Charlie Kirk was telling people had their babies and abortions went up. Charlie Kirk was saying that, hey, there's only two genders, two sexes. And we see, possibly because of a statement he made about that community, that it may have been the reason why he lost his life. I'm going to tell you something, I want no association with people that are hateful at all. I don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, any other race. I want no association with you because I don't deal with hateful people. When George Floyd lost his life, since you think I care about black people, I cared about him losing his life because I feel like everybody's life is precious in the womb and outside of it. But you want to put the responsibility and the blame on a man that nothing that he said to date is the reason why niggas are taking out each other in droves. You are the problem. Yeah, you the problem.
Well, I guess he told y'all, honey, I want you all to pay attention to something. Now, here's the thing that I find so interesting. So he had so much to say. He was talking so nice and calm in the first video. But then when somebody left him that comment and he felt like it was a black person that left it, and then he went to calling black people ninjas. See how disrespectful he got to his own people. But he speaks so highly of Charlie Kirk. And he made excuses for him. And he said that he was right about some of the things he said. Let me tell you something. Charlie Kirk may absolutely have been right about some of the things he said, but a whole lot of things he said, he told lies. And let's not forget and act like a broken clock isn't right twice a day as well. Okay, so yeah, people who lie, they often sprinkle in just a little dab of truth so it sounds more convincing to those who don't know the facts. With that all being said, here's the thing. They've done a good job with him and people who think like him, because these people are literally mad because some of us are not showing empathy and sympathy to somebody who never showed any to us and never would, who said that they didn't even believe in it. Okay, he wants to sit there and preach and act like he's so holier than thou when he speaks about Charlie Kirk, but then when he starts talking to his own people, he's calling us the N-word. I want y'all to pay attention. So is he being a hypocrite? Well, of course he is. He's been a whole hypocrite. Okay, that's what I find interesting. Here's the thing. Let me tell you all something, what's been going on. We'll get into the HBCUs in just a second, but here's something else that's been going on. So there are some people who don't look like me who's been on the internet going in on people who look like me for not being so empathetic and showing sympathy, and people like him as well who look like me going in on people who look like me. Here's what I find so interesting. If these people who are going in on those of us who don't care that Charlie Kirk is deceased, that we're not sitting up here crying, we're not celebrating, but yet we're not sad enough for them. So if those same people would take that same energy and go and preach those same words about empathy, sympathy, and not being hateful, and how people can say what they want or whatever, and that should be no reason to take a person's life or whatever, if they would take those same messages and go and give them to the people who are racist, to the wanton supremacists. Go preach that message of love and empathy and sympathy and void of hate. Go preach that to the people who followed and supported and loved and admired Charlie Kirk. Why don't they go do that rather than trying to talk to the people who are just doing what comes natural? You can't expect people to sit there and smile, in the face of people who hate them. You can't expect those same people to sit there and cry tears for the people who laughed at their pain. That's what you can't do. And it always gets my goat whenever I see people trying to tell Black people how we need to feel. Y'all don't have that same energy when it's one of us laying under the sheet, no matter how we got there. And I want you all to think about this too. So here's the thing. It's always such a double standard. It's always so much BS. Black people are always demonized and vilified, and people start stuff with us. And then we're the villains when we retaliate, when we stand up for ourselves and defend ourselves. For example, the situation down there in Cincinnati. Now, why do I keep talking about that? Queen Ahmadiyyah, how many times have you brought up the Cincinnati brawl? Why do you keep bringing it up? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Here's why I keep bringing it up. Because those white men went down there and started it. They slapped somebody in the face. That's what they did. So then when people jumped on them, people that look like them said, that's not fair. They're acting like animals. But what about when a Black person goes and knocks at the door of a white person asking for help because their car they got into a car accident, or they knocked on the wrong door and then they get shot. And then, but that's okay because it's a stand your ground state. And there was self-defense because that's okay. They were afraid for their lives. You see how there's no anger for that? And nobody is telling those people that they should have had more empathy and sympathy, that they shouldn't have been so hateful, that all you had to do was peek out your window and see that it was someone in need of help. No one goes to the people who, after a Black person is murdered by police in the streets at a traffic stop over a citation and they were unarmed, no one goes to the same people that don't look like me who will say things like, oh, well, they should have obeyed the lawful order. Well, they shouldn't have been resisting. Because whether they didn't disobey the lawful order, or whether they even resisted, which usually they don't, that's just a lie the cops say. But even if they do, you're supposed to be arrested. You're supposed to have due process. You're supposed to be taken to jail, booked in, sit in a cell until you go to court to see if you can get bail. And then you're supposed to go back to court and have a trial, or you give a plea. That's how that works. So when they make these asinine excuses and say, well, they should have done this, they should have done that, so the cops should have killed them because they didn't obey commands. Isn't that what we have jails and prisons for people who don't obey the law? Oh, I'm sorry. When you look like me, that's what they have graves for. Cemeteries, caskets. That's obviously what they have them for. Okay, so they could miss me with it at the end of the day. Okay, make it all make sense. Thank you, Nicole, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. I really, really appreciate you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. So I'm just saying, like, this doesn't make any sense, okay, at all. But everybody wants to try to go in on Black people, demonize us for fighting back, don't want to act like we're the victim. We're always the villain. But then when people bring up things that Charlie Kirk has done in his life, I want y'all to pay attention. They're getting mad because the same thing that they're getting is what they give. The hate you give. Okay, please pay attention. Now they're mad because people are bringing up stuff that Charlie Kirk did while he was alive, how he was racist, how he talked down on Black people, how he talked down on immigrants, how he talked down on LGBTQ people, how he talked down on trans people, how he was just low down and nefarious, how he always talked down on all people except his people. Now, the man that just sat there crying and preaching and talking about, oh, he was saying this and he was saying that, the thing that he didn't mention is, what did Charlie Kirk say about white people? He never said anything disparaging about them. Okay, he could point out what's wrong with the Black community, how we have all these people just doing, illegal substances, out here selling them, out here getting involved in all sorts of crime, out here acting like thugs, fathers not being in our homes. I'm sorry, there's no white people that don't have fathers in their homes. Because remember the Black Lady Clem Classic that was running for Congress? Her white husband, doesn't he have like 5 different kids with different baby mamas? And he's white. They act like that doesn't exist. So why didn't he go preach that same message to his people about their shortcomings? See, it's easy to sit on the outside and just have a bird's eye view and then point out the shortcomings of everybody that you watch all day long, that you sit back and look at. But how about looking in the mirror? How about looking in your family photo album? How about looking at the people at your dinner table? How about looking at your coworkers or the people you go golfing with? How about look at them and find their shortcomings? Don't just sit here and because one group of people you specifically don't like, so you sit there and try to analyze them and come up with everything that's wrong with them. Why don't you figure out what's wrong with you? Why don't you do that? I'm sure that would be more beneficial, but that's what he didn't do. Okay, I just find it also interesting. Like I said, there's nothing any different to me with the level of violence used when those people jump those people in Cincinnati than when someone takes a gun and shoots you because you hit them. Remember the man in Florida who pushed the old guy down because the guy was talking crazy to his wife? The Black man shoved him. He fell, and the Black man turns around to walk away. He shoots him in the back and kills him. That was justified. There was no anger and outrage over that. He didn't have to kill that man. But he did, and nobody cared. So now we're supposed to care? Please make it all make sense. They can't make it make sense. Okay? They can't make it make sense. And here's the thing. I believe that the person that took out Charlie Kirk, we know it's somebody that looks like him, but the person, whoever that is that took him out, I absolutely believe that it was all concerted. I believe it was all a master plan and plot. I believe that they got rid of him for a specific reason. And at the end of the day, he was just a sacrifice at the time. So now they want to sit there and try to praise him and all that, but I think they all really know what they did. Okay, that's what I think. And now they want to act like he's a whole martyr, like his life is akin to Dr. King's. Did y'all know that's what they're trying to do? I just find it all interesting. Okay, have you all seen some of the memes that they have put out here? They put out these memes that I find to be absolutely so interesting. Okay, comparing him to Dr. King and all that, like I said, and Jesus, that guy that we just listened to, didn't he compare him to Jesus? Isn't that what he said? Some of these people are so crazy. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, they actually said they had an idea, or this is what came out today. They said the FBI released this person of interest, okay, and want to know if anybody can help identifying him. That's who they think is the person of interest. Well, I haven't seen him. Have any of you? I sure haven't seen him. Right, Wavy Those said the hypocrisy is off the charts. Of course it is. Of course it is. Okay? They're mad because we're doing the same thing they do. Here's the thing. Let me just remind you of something. When George Floyd got killed by Derek Chauvin, we all sat there and watched the video, right? We all sat there and watched the video. What did people do who don't like people who look like us? They made excuses for what the police did. They lied and said, even Charlie Kirk did it too. I showed you the video earlier today. They said things like, oh, he didn't die from his knee being on his neck. He died from the illegal substances he was taking. It was a rug overdose. Isn't that what they said? They made excuses. So they made excuses. They went and brought up George Floyd's past. They said that George Floyd was a rug addict. They said that he was a criminal. They said we need to stop praising criminals. Isn't that what they said? Nobody was praising him. We were just upset because we saw that man get killed. Just like those people yesterday saw Charlie Kirk get killed. And they brought up stuff about George Floyd's past and his actions and behaviors, just like people are bringing up Charlie Kirk's actions, past behaviors, and things that he said and did. You see how that works? What's good for the goose is good for the damn gander. That's how that works. Okay, so they can be mad all they want. I really don't care. And none of you should care either. Because when they want to talk trash about us, they do it. They stand 10 toes down and they make all the excuses for racism, wanton supremacy, Black people being framed by the police, murdered by the police, and any other person that doesn't look like us that takes us out. They'll make excuses for them too. Look how the police have still not released the video of Carmelo Anthony and those twins, the Metcalf twins that jumped him. And then he stabbed one of them and that one's dead, sadly. Why haven't they released the video by now? Because they know what the video shows. It shows the truth. It shows the truth that he was defending himself. They don't want to do that when it's us taking out one of them. But when it's them being taken out, doesn't matter who took them out, they want everybody to cry and show tears and empathy. Sorry, I don't have any. I don't have any F's left to give. Okay? Not for people like Charlie Kirk. All right? Not for people like Charlie Kirk. And here's the thing. When these Bible thumpers, let me just say this. When these Bible thumpers want to try to make you feel bad because you're not shedding a tear, and then they want to sit there and talk about, oh, he was killed because he was saying things people didn't like. That's the same reason they killed Jesus. That's the same reason they killed MLK. First of all, they don't know why he was killed. That's just all of us speculating that it had something to do with the things he said and did and how his ideology. We don't know that. Who knows if he pissed somebody off? Maybe he ran off with somebody's cash. Maybe he owes somebody. Maybe it could have been the plug. We don't know. We don't know. So miss me with that too until you find out for sure. Okay? But you're likely not going to find out for sure. Okay? At the end of the day, because a whole lot of lies are going to be told. That's how that's going to go. But let me continue. Okay? Let me continue. Like, I'm so over it. Here's another one sitting up here crying.
My name's Eric. I was standing about the third level back, so probably 50 feet from Charlie. I heard a shot, which took my attention away from Charlie. It sounded like a higher caliber. It sounded like a higher caliber, like a 9mm. It didn't sound like a 45 or anything, but I don't know. It didn't sound that deep to me, but I don't think that Charlie can survive this unless the EMTs were close, and it was pretty, I mean, rated R level kind of stuff. Yeah.
It's scary, like.
It's terrifying.
It freaks everyone out. Like, it just ruins the whole experience for everyone. Like, I don't know. Like, come on, bro.
All right, everybody, you need to leave the area all the way up and all the way to the south.
I don't have no updates or anything, but you know, it does make me emotional because when you see something like that happen to somebody you love and your friend, man, the warrior police operator in me is like, I gotta go and protect them. I gotta go and eliminate the threat, and to not be able to do that, to sit and watch something happen outside of my control, it's just it eats away at me. And I pray to God that Charlie make it through this. I can't believe somebody shot him at a campus.
Sitting there looking all forlorn, talking about somebody you loved and all this, that, and the third. Shout out to them for having empathy and sympathy, but Charlie didn't have any, and I don't think he would have wanted them to have it for him. That's just how that goes. And him and the guy that was just preaching and all of that, here's who they remind me of. F out of here with that foolishness. Okay, F out of here with that foolishness. Like, they really need to sit down somewhere. That's like so crazy to me. And didn't I tell you all Listen to me. Didn't I tell you all that they were going to find a way to blame this on us? Once in the chat, if you heard me say that this morning, I told you all they're going to find a way to blame it on Black people, even though we had nothing to do with it and we weren't even there. Now HBCUs are under threat. Let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Is helping your money mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more.
We continue to follow a number of stories right here on Live Now from Fox. And I did want to transition to some breaking news into our studio as 5 historically Black colleges and universities are now on alert after receiving threats. And I did want to share what each of these universities and colleges are sharing with the public right here. This is a social media post from Hampton University stating that the university has received notice of a potential threat and has ceased all non-essential activity effective immediately. They say the safety and well-being of our students, faculty, staff, and visitors remain our highest priority. All campus activities and classes are canceled today and tomorrow to include all athletic events and activities, and campus community is encouraged to conduct any meetings and remotely. So we are continuing to follow this. We also have a number of other tweets that I did want to share with you. This from Southern University and AMM College stating that this university also has received a potential threat to campus safety and is on lockdown. They say that the lockdown applies to the entire Baton Rouge landmass, which also includes Southern University Law Center, Agriculture Research and Extension Center, and the laboratory school. They say if you are on campus, you should shelter in place until further notice, as the university is working with law enforcement agencies. We also have a number of other posts that we want to get to. This is from Alabama State University, as it has now canceled campus activities today, stating that the campus will be closed for the remainder of the day. Campus police, along with other law enforcement agencies, are actively clearing all buildings on campus. Once your building has been cleared, it says you will be permitted to leave only through the front entrance of your building. They say this is for your safety right there. So we are continuing to follow a number of other ones, including Virginia State University, stating that this university has received a threat to campus out of an abundance of caution. VSU rather remains on lockdown. Please continue to check for updates. And this final one that I did want to bring in, this is from Bethune-Cookman University, stating that due to a potential threat to campus safety, as a precaution, the university is currently on lockdown. All classes have been canceled. Students should return to their dorm rooms and shelter in place. All faculty and staff should head home, and those not on campus should plan to work remotely. Safety, they say, is our first priority, and we will continue to provide updates. So that is the very latest as we continue to follow all of these developments right here. We are working to gather more information just in terms of what these potential threats are, but out of abundance of caution, 5 different HBCUs are on alert after threats. This is a live look right here from Daytona. This is the area where Bethune-Cookman University is and now is currently on lockdown. So we did want to share the very latest with you, as 5 HBCUs are on alert after threats, many of them on lockdown, also canceling classes for today. And also we saw at least one of them canceling classes tomorrow as well, out of an abundance of caution. We are continuing to follow all of the very latest, and if we, of course, will bring any additional information as it happens.
Okay, so that's real crazy. That is absolutely crazy. But like I told you all, Like I told you all, at the end of the day, I told you they find a way to blame it on us, right? Okay, please pay attention. Now, Savage Patriots says, just a room full of ancestral hate to white folks, but think God love you. Crazy. Well, Savage Patriots, I don't think anybody in here hates white folks, but people on here do hate racist. Yeah, that's what we do hate. We don't like racists, honey, at the end of the day. We don't hate white folks. We love white folks. We love Mexicans. We love everybody that has good sense and has empathy and sympathy for other people, no matter what they look like. Yeah. But if you're a racist and a bigot, yeah, we don't have any love for you because you don't have any for anyone else. Okay. That's how that works. Okay. I don't love anybody who doesn't love me, and I don't like people who don't like me. That's just obtuse. Who does that? All right. So with that all being said, and God doesn't even do that. You know how I know? Because God doesn't like Satan. That's why he cast him out. Okay. Think about that. Why don't you? Because in fact, Satan's name used to be Lucifer, but now it's Satan, which means adversary. So God doesn't love his adversaries, so neither do we. Okay. And that's not all white people. That's just racist people who don't want people to be able to live and thrive as they do. That's how it works. Okay, so anyway. With that all being said, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Okay, so let's go to Fox News to a couple of their reports to see what they're talking about. Looks like a bunch of people are in here crying. And here's another thing I want to say too. Here's another thing I want to say too. So, some people are saying, oh, they shot him right there in front of all those people. And those people are going to be forever traumatized. No, they won't. No, they won't. No, they won't. Let's not forget, these are the same people. These are the descendants, in fact. Please pay attention to what I'm about to say. These are the descendants of the people who used to see people swinging from trees and cut their fingers off or pluck out an eyeball to take it home as a souvenir or take pictures of it and send it off to postcards to their relatives and friends. Those people weren't traumatized, and neither will they be, in my opinion. Okay, anything else? Anything else? Mr. Elevation just gifted 5 memberships to the Queen's channel. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. You be sure to shout out Mr. Elevation for his kindness and generosity, especially if you're one of those people who get one of the memberships. Thank you, beloved. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a whole lot of hypocrisy going on around here. I don't know why people think Black people are supposed to be so sympathetic and empathetic when something happens to them, but they don't want to show us the same kind of mercy. If you showed us empathy, maybe we'd have a little bit more. That's all I'm saying. All these people saying all that crazy stuff about George Floyd, about Ahmaud Arbery, about Breonna Taylor even. Remember the things they said about her? Remember the things they said about Breonna Taylor? But I'm sorry. I'm wrong for not crying. Yeah, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. And that man who sat there and lied and said that he felt bad about George Floyd, he's a damn lie, because I went all up and through his page and I didn't see anything about him on there crying about any Black person who died, George Floyd or anybody else, while he's sitting there crying for Charlie Kirk. So this one hit hard. This one hit hard. Sit your silly stuff down. You look like Stephen from Django. And that's a comment that I left him. Tell him just that. Okay, please miss me with it. All right. And here's the thing. I'm not going in on people or on anyone because they're crying over Charlie Kirk. Don't get it twisted. I'm not going in on anyone for showing human empathy and sympathy to Charlie Kirk or for his family. I'm not going in on you for that. Why I'm going in on some of these people is because some of these people, because they're crying, they're mad because we're not. They're mad because we're not. And I don't have to feel the way you feel, and I don't have to react the way you do. So that's why some of these people are upset. Okay? I'm going in on them for trying to point the finger. Because if you want to cry, go ahead. If you want to have empathy and sympathy, that's fine. No one should make you feel bad about it. But if you try to make me feel bad because you don't feel like I'm showing empathy or sympathy or I'm not doing enough, then I'm going to call you out. See, that's how it works. Because there's some people crying. I'm not saying anything about them or to them. Okay, I'm not going to put their video up in here and go in on them. But when you sit up there and you want to try to go in because somebody else isn't crying or feeling the way you feel, yeah, I'm going to call you out. Sit down somewhere. Okay, did you go and recruit people to cry over George Floyd? Please, sir, have several seats. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about it because chilling reminder, multiple historically Black universities under lockdown after receiving threats. At least 6 historically Black colleges halted activities and issued alerts. So they're saying that the ones receiving threats are Alabama State University, Virginia State University, Hampton University in Virginia, Southern University in Louisiana, and Clark University in Georgia. Okay, Spelman College, located near Clark Atlanta University, has also implemented shelter-in-place protocols as a precautionary measure due to proximity. Now, the FBI released a statement regarding threats on Thursday, saying federal investigators are aware of hoax threat calls to a number of historically Black institutions. So here's the thing. How do they know if it's a hoax? Right? How do they know if it's a hoax unless something happens? And then even if it was a hoax, why would you be calling these Black colleges trying to scare them, trying to fearmonger them? Because they're mad. Okay? So anyway, goes on to say the FBI takes these threats very seriously because it puts innocent people at risk. Okay, that's what the agency said, adding that there is currently no information to indicate a credible threat. Hampton University ceased all non-essential activity, including athletic events on Thursday for the remainder of the day and Friday, according to the school's website. Now, in a post on Virginia State University's Facebook page, they said, out of an abundance of caution, VSU remains on lockdown. Southern University in Louisiana was on lockdown. They said the school said the lockdown applied to its entire Baton Rouge landmass, which includes its law center. The community is encouraged to shelter in place until further notice. After the campus lockdown was lifted later Thursday afternoon, the university announced it was canceling all campus activities and classes on Thursday and Friday through the weekend. The Congressional Black Caucus released a statement Thursday saying the threats made against several historically Black colleges and universities are not only vile, they are chilling, and a chilling reminder of the relentless racism and extremism that continues to target and terrorize Black communities in this country. And Charlie Kirk was one of those people who led the charge in doing so. He was a Klansman without the hood. He was a Klansman without the white robe. But in fact, he was a Klansman, okay, as far as I'm concerned. The caucus called the FBI and the Department of Justice to act swiftly to fully investigate these threats and pursue the appropriate legal action against those responsible. Bethune-Cookman University in Daytona Beach, Florida is now on lockdown due to a potential threat to campus safety as well. And ABC News obtained an email that was sent to the Virginia State University community on Thursday. In the message, VSU students, faculty, and staff are asked to remain on lockdown while campus police and local, state, and federal law enforcement investigate the credibility of the threat that was received. Now, according to the email, no injuries have been reported. Outdoor movement has been limited to essential activities. Classes and extracurricular activities have been canceled for the afternoon, and additional security personnel are monitoring VSU locations. The lockdown measures come in the wake of the shooting at Utah Valley University on Wednesday, where 31-year-old conservative commentator Charlie Kirk was killed at his speaking engagement on campus. Civil rights activist Reverend Al Sharpton released a statement on Thursday calling for an end to the threats to HBCU campuses and all forms of violence and tensions after the killing of Kirk. Sharpton said in his statement that he condemned the shooting of Donald Trump last year, the murder of Charlie Kirk yesterday, and the threats at HBCUs today. He said he also plans to add additional members to his security detail due to increased threats. Al Sharpton, nobody's coming for you. We already know that you really are not here for Black people. Everybody else knows it too, so sit down somewhere, okay? Sharpton referenced HBCU attacks in 2023 at Edward Waters University and the 2024 shooting at Tuskegee University. Officials have not linked any of the threats to the HBCU campuses to the shooting at Utah Valley University. Well, it doesn't take rocket scientists to figure out that's why they're getting threats, okay? So that all being said, a spokesperson with Virginia State told ABC News that the threat they received on Thursday did not mention Charlie Kirk in any way. Now, school officials at Hampton, Alabama State confirmed to ABC News that there have been no physical incidents towards students and faculty. It's unclear what type of threat was made to the schools at this time. The school stressed if you see something, say something, asking for their communities to alert authorities to any suspicious activity. And the alleged threats follow a history of threats to HBCUs in the past several years. In 2022, multiple schools received anonymous bomb threats causing shelter-in-place notices or evacuations of the majority Black institutions. However, no real bombs were found at each incident. After each incident, at the time, the FBI identified one juvenile believed to be responsible for a majority of the racially motivated threats. Okay, so there you all have it. There you all have it. All right. Al Sharpton needs to just sit down somewhere. Like, why is he even talking? Okay. Why is he even talking? Now, with that all been said, I told you all they still have an active manhunt on the way, underway. Manhunt underway after conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot dead on Utah campus. So they say the story is still unfolding. Only one person is believed to be involved. The shooter was who killed prominent conservative activist Charlie Kirk remains at large after what police called a targeted attack at a Utah college campus. Okay, so this really isn't anything. Israeli leaders mourned Charlie Kirk, Prime Minister. We already talked about this morning, so doesn't seem like there's any more information other than what we already had. I'm going to go to what AOC had to say about the clip. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go.
This is horrific. This is awful. And the assassination of Charlie Kirk risks an uncorking of political chaos and violence that we cannot risk in America. Are we going to do something, or are we going to argue over rhetoric? That is my question about this. We have to pass gun safety legislation and stop this.
This just happened. I guess he's at the hospital. He got shot in the neck, and that's kind of all we know right now. But guys, look at these potatoes that I just got at Jack in the Box. They got bacon and all this stuff, and I'm not partnered with Jack in the Box. But anyway, so good. Back to having my lunch now. Have a great day, guys.
It literally just happened minutes ago. You know Charlie Kirk, the guy that was made fun of in South Park, who openly admitted that he is a fascist and he's just a terrible person? Well, yep. Quick, boom, straight to the neck. And you know what? A lot of people are going to get mad. They're going to be like, oh my God, you're a type of person. I don't care. One fascist down, many more to go. What did you expect? A revolution at some point is going to break off slowly but surely in this country. People are tired.
This liberal mindset is absolutely disgusting. These people shouldn't even be allowed to have platforms.
First of all, how does he know she's a liberal? How does he know she's a liberal? And that's another thing too. Trump and the Republicans immediately came out, started trying to blame the Democrats for this man being shot. It could have been a Republican that shot him. They say they don't know who did it, right? Isn't that what they said? They don't know who did it. So how are they so sure that the liberals are responsible? Ask yourselves that, okay? Ask yourselves that. Now, this guy right here, yeah, I'm glad he said it because somebody needed to. Please pay attention.
Oh my God. Shut the fuck up. This video is for all of you people out there making videos of yourselves crying for Charlie Kirk for fucking clout. And that is the majority of the videos that I've watched. I've been scrolling through TikTok since yesterday, and I've seen multiple people, even one person that went as far as, get that shit out of here. Get that shit out of here. You are not crying because you actually care about what happened to him. What happened to him was a tragedy. It was wrong. But how about we talk about the students that got shot yesterday in Colorado? See, meanwhile, you're complaining about somebody that advocated for what happened to him. 3 students were shot, one of them being the shooter, unalived, and 2 other students in a hospital. Not a single one of you fucking hypocrites is on here talking about that. You motherfuckers just like clout. I swear, it's all for clout. So miss me with the fucking tears. Miss me with the bitch. The fuck out of here, man. Stop being such a fucking hypocrite. We got shit going on in this country like children losing their lives. And you're crying for somebody that advocated for this shit? Get a fucking grip.
Okay, exactly. This man literally advocated for that. Like, are they crazy? Are they insane? Okay, please make it all make sense. Make it all make sense.
Why am I getting on this app and y'all sitting here crying over goddamn Charlie Kirk or Kirk Franklin or whatever his name is? Like, stay out of it. Let them white folks fight their own battles with that. Let them deal with that, because for one, it wasn't us. A white man killed that man. You feel me? So I feel like as Black folks, I honestly deeply want to know, why am I on this app and I see tears when we should be celebrating? Because we all know from the bottom of our hearts that this man did not go to heaven. He went straight to the burning hells. Y'all crying for a man that wouldn't even piss on y'all ass if he was on fire. You crying for a man that wouldn't even motherfucking save you if you was getting beat the fuck up by the cops in front of you. Y'all crying for a goddamn man that has talked down on George Floyd. Y'all crying for a fucking man that really don't like Black folks. But yet, I get on this fucking app and see a lot of Black folks crying, and I mean crying their fucking eyeballs out over a man that would not care if he was dying in front of him. And that's all I want to leave it at. I got time to argue.
Let me tell you all something that's interesting to me. Let me tell you all something that's interesting to me is that these Black people crying after seeing that, it just goes to show how they don't care about themselves or their own Black people. Because at the end of the day, we have gotten so used to it, some of us, and so desensitized to seeing Black death. And a lot of Black people don't value Black lives. That's why Black people can freely kill each other in the streets over dumb stuff. But when they see this white man get killed in front of them or on TV or on the internet, crying. Never cried for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Sandra Bland, Oscar Grant, Sean Bell. They never cried for any of them. That's what's crazy to me, Black people. That's what's crazy to me. It's not crazy to me that some Black people are crying for Charlie Kirk. That's not what's crazy to me. You know why that's not crazy to me within itself? Because Black people, as I said days ago, are the most humane people on the planet. In my opinion, Black people are the most forgiving, the most understanding, the most accepting, and the most humane people on the planet. Now, I know other people try to make us seem like we're thugs and animals, but we're really not. And that's why you see Black people crying for this man. Now, that's not the problem for me, that some of y'all want to cry, because some of y'all are just nice people. But what gets me is the raccoons that are crying after they talk so much trash about people who look like them. Just because we don't agree with their views and opinions. Their views and opinions align with people like Charlie Kirk. So that's why they're crying. I'm going to talk trash about them. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, that's what I'm going to do at the end of the day, because they sound crazy. That's how they sound. Okay, and they never cried or shed one tear for somebody that looks like them after watching them get killed. Okay, it's insanity at its finest. Okay, complete and utter insanity. I'm going to close out this broadcast in a second.
A lot of Black men that I went to high school with trying to mourn and grieve the death of Charlie Kirk and saying, like, if you're over here celebrating his death, or if you don't care about his death, you can go ahead and block me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's read some quotes straight out of Charlie's fucking mouth. We're going to start off with quote number 1 that you probably have already heard, but I think it's very important to say. He said, I think it's worth to have the cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year in order to protect our Second Amendment right. Yeah, and that's what happened. Now let's go to the racist shit. He said when Blacks, and yes, he's talking about your Black ass too, sir. When Blacks in America did not have the same rights that they have today, they were less murderous and there were less break-ins. Why is that? Why is that? He also said, I'm sorry, but if I see a Black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, is he even qualified? But wait, there's more. This is how he feels about Juneteenth. A certain skin color gets their own summertime celebration. Like, oh, wow, Look how far the blacks have come. It has now become a racial complaining day. Remember what BLM stands for: burn, loot, and murder. This next quote is him literally talking face to face to a 10-year-old little black boy. The Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Yeah, he said that to a child, a black child. But let's keep going. Blacks were better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed. They committed less crimes. And lastly, this is my favorite quote by him. Empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage. Yeah. I don't know why you guys want to empathize with this man who hated your guts so fucking badly, but it's blowing my mind, especially when you guys are dead quiet on all the shit that is going on around the world, from genocide to fucking the man in office and people getting literally split up from their families. Y'all are dead silent, but you guys want us to grieve over this fucking racist ass fucking man. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely.
She's right.
Whole Charlie Kirk death is absolutely diabolical, because this was a lot of conservative white people's Jesus, which means they're gonna have a lot of white friends who are gonna agree with you, but they're not gonna say anything publicly because they don't want to upset their conservative white friends who this is like their mourning day. However, you have a lot of vocal white people, and I know some people's jobs may not allow them to say that, which I don't even think that's an HR rule. But with that being said, this goes back to my points of my previous videos. A lot of your white friends would rather be comfortable and rest in their whiteness than actually speak up for things that matter. This is not just social media, it can even be in like a social setting. A lot of white people are going to prioritize their whiteness and their comfortability and the privileges that it comes with rather than actually being on the right side of history. With that being said, I do not have any empathy for Charlie Kirk. As he said in his own words, empathy is not real. And I also extend my empathy to children lost in lives lost in mass school shootings. I extend my empathy to victims of assault. I extend my empathy to every single person or marginalized group that Charlie Kirk would attack every single day with his platform. That is where I extend my empathy. I don't have empathy for somebody who said that Black women didn't have the same brain power and capacity that other people have. So Charlie Kirk can sincerely kiss my yes. I don't have any empathy for someone who was a white supremacist.
Okay, facts. I don't either. Now, here's the little boy. Here's the little 10-year-old boy that he said something about civil rights to. I knew I had seen that video earlier. This is what he told a little black child. But y'all sitting up here crying, black men, some of them crazy.
Why did you say that the civil rights bill should be overturned?
I didn't say that. I said it was a mistake.
Why? That's crazy.
Now you gotta figure it out.
I wouldn't be here. That's trouble.
Who's that? Who's that?
He told that little black boy the civil rights movement was a mistake. Okay. So anyway, let's go to Fox News and then we're out of here. All right. Let's go to Fox News and see what they're talking about. And then I'm out. I know they're torn to shreds.
Fox News alert and welcome to the 5. President Trump just announcing that Charlie Kirk has died after being shot at an event in Utah for his Turning Point USA organization. The president said, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." You will have everyone on the 5's reaction in just a moment, but let's get you caught up on the news with the latest. Jonathan Hunt joins us now. Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, Dana. A tragic scene unfolding on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. That's about 30 minutes south of Salt Lake City, where Charlie Kirk was holding an event, the first event of what was called the American comeback tour. At about 12:20 local time, Charlie Kirk was sitting underneath a small tent in an outdoor area of the campus, a sort of amphitheater, buildings facing him about 100 to 200 yards away. He was addressing a crowd that looked to be up to a couple of thousand strong. He had been handing out baseball caps, smiling with the crowd, talking to those who had come to eagerly see him and listen to his words. And then in video we have seen, but are not showing for very obvious reasons, you hear as after Charlie Kirk sits down behind a desk underneath that small tent, you hear a single shot ring out. It appears to be from some sort of high-powered rifle, clearly shot from a distance. And then in one particularly gruesome video, you can see the bullet strike Charlie Kirk. It appears to hit him directly in the neck. You see a gush of blood. And then obviously, as you can imagine, the crowd running in every direction. Absolutely.
We already heard all that. I'm going to this latest update where they're talking about the person of interest, and then we're out of here. Okay, this is the last one.
And particularly our own correspondents, things are tightening around the man who they think is the assassin. They are trying to catch him for killing conservative icon Charlie Kirk at a college event in Utah yesterday. It's not still been 24 hours, and the FBI is moving quickly now with some details and evidence that they picked up in the last hour or so. And it's revealing this morning that images of the shooter exist, and you can see those images on your screen right now. If anyone has any information on this person of interest, please contact the FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI, and we'll get that up on all of our social platforms immediately. Authorities are saying they have been able to track the suspect's movements and have recovered the high-power rifle officials say they believe the shooter used in the attack. The FBI is confident it will be able to catch this person. Sources close to Fox News also confirm investigators are looking into what appears to be messages that are written both on the gun and the shell casings recovered by authorities just in the last 35 minutes or so. Bill Mallusion has that part of our story. The content of those messages, though, is still unclear. At least they have not revealed them to us in the wider media. This is Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-hosts, Emily Campagno and Kayleigh McEnany. Also joining us today, Laura Trump, host of My View with Laura Trump, and Lawrence Jones, co-host of Fox and Friends. First, let's go to CB Cotton and get the very latest at Utah Valley University. CB.
Hi, Harris. Well, multiple sources have told Fox News about the messages that appear to be left behind on both the ammunition and firearm recovered from the scene of Charlie Kirk's assassination. So far, the FBI, as you mentioned, has declined to comment on this. But what the agency is saying is that they've got lots of good video of the killer's path on this campus.
We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time.
Agents say the shooter got on campus less than an hour before assassinating 31-year-old Charlie Kirk, who was
Charlie Kirk actually is so much more important.
Okay,
the caricature, the cartoon, is that Charlie?
Hold on. I want you all to hear what Candace Owens has to say. I've been waiting all day to hear what she had to say. She finally posted something about an hour ago. This is on her TikTok. I'm going to go to it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. She was a friend of Charlie's, I do believe. And they had the same talking points, so it's not a shock to me that she's sad about it. Okay? Let me put an overlay on this real quick.
In the end, Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation. I don't think it, I know it. He was going through a lot, and there was a lot of pressure. And it's hard for me to watch the people who were pressuring him I don't know, just say the things that they're saying. You know, there's something about it that just feels really fake to me. And they would have allowed him to lose and wanted him to lose everything for changing or even slightly modifying an opinion. And then to see them doing what they're doing today, it's hurtful to me. It's very hurtful to me. But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person, you know?
Honey, she couldn't even contain herself. Bless her heart. She couldn't even contain her little old self. Okay, so clearly she feels bad about it, like I told you all. Hold on. Okay. Now, with that all being said, hold on. This is something else she had to say.
He's this young, smart guy, made a career out of debating college kids, decided not to go to college, started Turning Point USA. And I think a lot of people thought that Charlie must take himself a bit too seriously. And I want you guys to know that that could not be further from the truth. Charlie and me were always laughing. Yes, he was ambitious. Everybody knows Charlie is ambitious. I met him back in 2017 when Turning Point was this very young organization. Nobody knew who I was. Nobody knew who Charlie Kirk was. And Charlie was always wearing these really baggy suits. I mean, they looked like they were hand-me-downs from 3 generations because he was focused on the ideas. He didn't care about his appearance.
Okay, I've heard about enough for her, honey. She sounds like Stephen from Django as well. Okay, Luna said, I have to. Let's go, Queen. They were not friends. Girl, yes, they were. You just heard how she was fawning over him. They met in 2007, and they've been friends ever since. Okay, I don't know who told you they weren't friends. They absolutely were friends, and that's why I was waiting to see what she had to say about it. I think I mentioned that to you all yesterday, that I wanted to hear what Candace had to say. Honey, that is absolutely her friend. Tucker Carlson's her friend, so why wouldn't he be her friend too? Okay, absolutely. Okay, absolutely they were friends, all right? Exactly. Teddy said, debate college kids. Yes, that's what he got famous for. But debating people much younger than him who he had life experience over. Okay, because it wasn't because he went to college, because he only attended college for a short, brief period and then dropped out. Okay, but he wants to talk about Black women not having the brain processing power. Sir, I have a whole PhD. Okay, what did he have? Okay, what did he have? I have several questions. With that all being said, well, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Now HBCUs are being threatened because people are upset that Black people aren't so upset and that we're all not crying and ripping our hair out because Charlie Kirk is dead. Yeah, I don't care. Okay, I don't care. I'm not glad he's dead because I would never be glad that someone's dead. Well, probably not. I would like to think not. But at the end of the day, well, I can't even say that because there are some people I probably would be glad. Like, for example, that nefarious serial killer, Albert Hamilton Fish, who was murdering kids and all that and eating them. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to say I'm glad he's dead, but he is dead and I'm not sad about it. That's how that goes. Nor do I have empathy and sympathy because he didn't believe in those either. So like I said, I'm at least respecting his wishes. Okay, so if you're mad, just stay there. Okay, so anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the broadcast. Everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. D Major says, Queen, J.D. Vance is escorting Kirk's body with the military honor guard to Air Force 2. No surprise there. They're treating him like a martyr. He's going to go down as a martyr, beloved. They're going to act like he was some big activist, some savior who did all this stuff or whatever. But don't worry, I'll be here to tell the truth as long as I am here, and I'll pass it on down to whomever I can so that the word travels through the centuries, okay, and the decades and all of that. As we have to do, because we already know that people who look like Trump love to rewrite history and change all the narratives and tell a whole bunch of lies and hide the real truth. Okay? So with that all been said, I'm out of here. I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. And I will see you all in the morning with your morning wake-up call. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got